This is the camera I was looking for. In the last video I talked about the Canon R50V, which I mainly bought as a second angle camera and also as a camera that is small sized and lightweight to carry around as an everyday camera. But also I was looking for a camera that gives me the fun back of taking photos, because taking photos pretty much fell short in the last few months. And the R50V is an amazing video camera, but it's not really made for taking photos. As I was researching which camera to get, either the Canon V1 or the Canon R50V, I also found Fujifilm X100VI, which pretty much checked all the boxes I wanted from a photo-first camera. And I instantly fell in love with the film recipe function. As I said, I wanted a camera that is lightweight, small-sized, and gives me the fun back of taking photos. And I pretty much found everything in this small camera. I absolutely love this form factor of this camera. It is small, lightweight, and also the lens is not sticking out that much. And the build quality is also amazing. It really feels great. Also, all the buttons and wheels feel very high quality. And I also love the concept of these manual dials to set the shutter speed and also the aperture on the lens. And what I also love is this clicky mechanism to set the ISO. It is even a lot of fun to just use all the buttons and wheels. As you can see here, I put the shutter speed to T, which lets you change the shutter speed using this wheel in the back. And I put the ISO to C, which lets you change the ISO with the front wheel. And I will explain later why I did that. I also really love the viewfinder on this camera. You can choose between an electronic viewfinder or an optical viewfinder. When you put the camera to your face, you have the optical viewfinder, and when you pull this lever, it changes to the electronic viewfinder. Also, when you are in the single autofocus point mode and in the optical viewfinder mode, you can push this little lever in the direction of the lens, and then you will get in the down right corner of the viewfinder a little rectangle that shows you the autofocus area a little bit zoomed in, so that you can see if the area is properly in focus. But I have to say, this mechanism feels very delicate, especially this little screen that shows up in the corner, so I hope it's not breaking that easy. The film recipes really sold me on this camera. As I said, I instantly fell in love with this function and all the possibilities and setting options that I can choose from, especially all these community recipes that are already out there on the internet that I can access. I mainly love these recipes because my photo editing is not that great and I get tired pretty quickly of editing photos. So having these recipes really helps me to really use my photos in the end. So I set up the camera in a way that is really easy for me to switch between the different recipes and even tweak them a little bit if I want to. I set up the My menu in a way that I have access to all the different settings that are used for the film recipes. For example, the film simulation, the grain, the color chrome effect, white balance, dynamic range, the tone curve, the color and sharpness, clarity, and high ISO noise reduction. These are basically all the settings you can find when you are searching for custom recipes. Then I also have this menu point where I can save or edit my custom settings, so that when I tweaked something, I can either reset it to the custom setting I saved it before, or even save the changes if I'm happy with the changes. And I also have set up the Q menu so that I can access all the settings for the custom recipes and also the flash setting and the ND filter setting. With this camera you have 7 slots to save your custom recipes, and I am using this little button here to access the menu where I can choose between the different settings. I also saw videos where people are using this control dial to change between the different custom settings, but I left it as it is from the beginning, and this is to change between the different crop modes. This camera has 2 different crop modes, The first where it mimics a 50mm lens, and the second where it mimics a 70mm lens. And since this camera has a 40 megapixel sensor, I don't feel bad using this function. Of course you will not get the correct optical behavior compared to a real 50 or 70mm lens, because the image just gets cropped, but it's still a very useful function. I have this camera for about 2 weeks now, and most of the time I spent with this camera I spent setting up everything. I've gone through all the menus and set this camera up in a way that feels the best for me. And I have to say, as a Canon user, I really like the menus of this camera. They're easy to understand and the layout is also great. But of course, I did not only spend time in the menus, I also used this camera. And not only test out the photo capabilities, I also wanted to test the video capabilities and especially the video film recipes. Because you cannot only use film recipes for pictures, you also can use film recipes for your videos. As I was walking on the dam, I constantly smelled some burning wood, but I could not see any smoke. As you can imagine, a fire in a national park is not the thing that you want, especially because it was warm and dry that day. Not that warm, it was about 25 degrees C, but still very dry. I couldn't see any fire, I couldn't see any big smoke clouds. There were 2 people sitting on the ground, and I thought maybe they having a barbecue or something. So I just kept walking and taking photos. But on the way back I finally discovered the smoke clouds, and they were coming from a small area on the water side of the dam. And there was some driftwood and dry grass which started burning. Luckily on the side there was not that much burnable material, it was mostly the concrete parts of the dam. But still I decided to call the fire department. And I have to say I found it strange that people just stared at the fire and then kept walking like nothing was happening. I mean, due to the position where this fire started, the danger of getting a big wildfire was not that great, but still. But the good thing, I got familiar with the camera and developed a little workflow that I can use. As I said, I really love that this camera slows me down and really makes me think of what I want to achieve with the photo I'm about to take. With all these manual dials to set up everything, it really slows you down. You have a little bit of wiggle room. For example, when you set it to 125, with this dial you can go 2 steps up and 2 steps down so that you have a range from 1/80th to 1/200th. Since I was also shooting video, this freedom pretty soon got in the way. The best shutter speed for 25 frames per second is 1/50th of a second. So every time I wanted to shoot video, I had to set the shutter speed dial to 60 because there is no 50, and then use the dial on the back to set it to 1/50th. So I really had to think about this every time I switched from photo to video. After some time I decided that I change the shutter speed dial to T so that I can use only this dial on the back to change the shutter speed. And this meant that when I'm in the video mode and I set this to 1/50th and then change back to the photo mode and then use the photo mode, change the shutter speed to something else, and when I switched back to video it was still on 1/50th. So this is kind of a workaround if you want to shoot video and photo. Set it to T set the shutter speed in the video mode to 150 and leave it there, and then you can use the shutter speed dial on the back to change the shutter speed in the photo mode to whatever you want without affecting the video shutter speed. But of course this camera is not really made for video. You can of course shoot videos with it, but it's mainly a photo camera, and I think I want to mainly use it as a photo camera. But of course I also think it's fun to use the film recipes in video. The setup for the film recipes in video is a little bit different. You don't have all the options that you have when you're shooting photo. For example, the grain effect is not there, the color chrome effect is not there, but you still have white balance, of course, dynamic range, tone curve. You can change the tone curve, you can change the color, the sharpness, and the high ISO noise reduction. And yeah, that's pretty much it. There are also some film recipes online. Not that many, but I already found some film recipes for videos, and of course I tried them in the footage you just saw. Speaking of going out on a sunny day, the built-in ND filter really saved the day for me. Of course it was a bright sunny day, and I don't have a filter yet for this lens. And it is also very easy to activate. I've just seen one video so far that talks about that, but when you pull this lever in the front and hold it for 3 seconds, then the ND filter gets activated, and you can also deactivate it with the same method. Of course you can also put this in the Q menu and just activate it and deactivate it with just a scroll of this wheel. It has a 4-stop ND filter built in, and it darkens your picture enough that you can use this camera in bright daylight. Something that is more of a gimmick for me, but I also tried it, are these filters that you can activate when you go in the advanced menu and then switch from panorama to the right to advanced filters. And here you have, for example, the toy camera, which basically makes your photos look worse in quality and adds a heavy vignette. So I think it's just a gimmick. But there's also this miniature mode, which basically mimics a tilt shift lens. And I think this is a filter that I could see myself use in the future, because it really creates interesting photos. I think I will use it maybe sometimes. Then you have these color filters, pop color for example, which just increases the contrast and the saturation, or high key, which brightens your image and reduces contrast. Low key just reduces highlights. Dynamic tones just looks not that great. Soft focus, everything looks blurry, so yeah, maybe there's a use case for this. And some partial color filters where only the color that you choose gets shown in the photo and everything else is black and white. For example, red, orange, yellow, green, blue, and purple. As I said, all these filters are more of a gimmick, but they add a lot of fun. And I have the feeling there's a big focus on fun with this camera. Everything I've seen on this camera, everything I've done was just fun. The film recipes, these filters, and the overall use of this camera is just fun. And this is exactly what I wanted. A camera that gives me the fun back of taking pictures, and that I can take with me every day. It's light enough to probably fit in my pocket. I don't want to try this now, but probably fits in some of my pockets. Yeah, this camera is a lot of fun, and I really can see myself carrying it with me every day. Also, something that I want to mention, this camera has a built-in flash. I'm not really experienced in taking flash photos, but I think this adds another creative level to this camera. The question is, will I also use it for videos? Maybe. Maybe if I want to make a video where I want to focus on the photos I've taken and want to add some videos about the places in the same style, so that the film recipe of the photos and the film recipe of the videos matches perfectly. Maybe for stuff like that. But I don't think that I will use it to film videos on a daily basis. But it's nice to just have the option to activate a video recipe and film something that you can use right out of the camera. Another thing about this camera, it is almost completely weather sealed except for the lens, but you can completely weather seal it when you unscrew this little ring in front. Then you can screw on a filter adapter, and with this filter on, the camera is weather sealed. So I still have to get a filter adapter. There are a ton of accessories out there. I think mainly to customize the camera so that it looks unique, and there are a lot of things that you can add. For example, some cool looking lens hoods in different colors, or just in the same silver as this one. Also, you can get this camera in black, and then there are also some black lens hoods. Then you can add a soft shutter release button, I think it's called. I have something like this for another camera. I have added this to the Canon AE1. This is just a small screw-on thing. It probably fits also on this camera. Yeah, it fits. Yeah, it fits somewhat, but I don't like this look. Also, you can buy a thumb grip that you have to put in this hot shoe. These thumb grips really increase the ergonomics of this camera because it is small, and also this bump is not that big, so it probably can happen very easily that you drop it. You can also get some L brackets that will give you a bigger grip on this side. I'm not sure if I want to do this. Maybe I will get a thumb grip, but I don't think that I want a bigger bump on this side because it ultimately increases the size of this camera. And I mean, I bought it because I wanted a smaller camera. So I will probably just get a camera strap that also prevents the camera from falling down when I lose grip of it. Something that I will definitely get is some kind of carrying case, some hard shell case, or some pocket that I can slide this camera into, because I am really concerned of scratching this beautiful metal finish when I just put it in my bag. I mean, the R6 is a lot more robust when it comes to scratches. This material don't really scratch that easily, but I have the feeling that this metal will really scratch easily. So I am still looking for some kind of case for this camera. Yeah, and that is pretty much everything I wanted to talk about today. Let me know if you missed anything today, if I should talk about any of the things I talked about today a little bit more in depth. Yeah, and let me know what you think about the Fujifilm X100VI. Do you think it's overhyped? I mean, it came out 2 years ago, I think, and it's still sold out everywhere. I had to wait for about 3 weeks until I got it, which is probably still very quick. Let me know what you think. I'm really happy with this camera, even though it was expensive, but I see myself really use this camera every day. But then there's nothing more to say than thank you for watching. Like the video if you enjoyed it, and consider subscribing if you want to see more of me. I see you in the next video. Thank you.